My name is Richard. When I was younger, I had a big business, multi-million-dollar business, employed 70 people, and was going along very well. And after 4 years, the whole business collapsed. 460 contractors went down the chute, and I couldn't work for 2 years. Prior to that, I'd already been a heavy drinker, but after that I became a full-blown alcoholic, and my life just turned to shit, went down the tubes. There were suicide attempts, severe depression. I was so sick of being sick, and I eventually went to stay with my mother because I had nowhere else to live, and I got involved with AA and did 9 years of AA and sobered up. I didn't drink in that time, and after I got well enough, Mum was old and she got sick, and so I became her full-time carer and looked after her for the next 10 years until she passed away, at which stage I was homeless, and I'd also developed a lot of illness from the alcoholism, and serious illness, life-threatening illness, and that's something I've been dealing with since then. And I've always been looking for inner understanding, inner knowledge, trying to make changes in my life, but I've been dogged with stuff that was buried so deep, even though I'd done inventories and everything in Alcoholics Anonymous, and thought I'd cleared my dung heap. There was stuff still there, and people would push triggers and I'd react, and it's not very pleasant how it affects other people as well. So I was staying in this factory. I was homeless, and then a friend of one of the guys in the factory was doing learning hypnotism as a therapeutic thing. And he introduced me to Faster EFT and said, there were all these videos on YouTube and to go and have a look. So I did have a look, and I started to identify with people on there. And so I ended up watching the 650 videos that were available at that stage, and have watched all of them since. And so I started to clear stuff inside of me, and when I learnt about the journals, the peace journal and the happy journal, I started to really get into those, because it was similar to the doing my inventory in Alcoholics Anonymous, but it was different. So as I started to go back into my past, which I thought I'd completely forgotten, all of this stuff started to be revealed. I'd go to one memory and bang, all of these other memories would open up, and then I could see clearly the associations in the memories going right back. I went right back I have memories of being in a crib when I was, I must have been 1 year old or under 1 year old, in nappies, and you know, feeling the rattles in front of me, suspended in front of me, all of that sort of stuff. And they came not only with visuals but with all the feelings, the sensations, and that's how it's been. As I go into those memories, I can go right back through my life to this present moment, and it's given me an understanding of the way I can make changes just by revealing a memory, tapping on it, releasing its emotional energy, and although the memories are still there, there's a lot that I've changed, and they don't have the ability to have buttons pushed. A good example of it is my father came home from work one day, and I was really happy to see him and everything, and I would have been 4 or 5 years old, and he picked me up because he was a giant and gave me a big hug, and he said to me, "Oh, how's your wobbly tooth going?" And I showed him, and he grabbed it and he pulled it out, and it hurt, and I got really upset, and it really changed how my attitude toward him. I didn't trust him, just that little tiny incident. And then I saw how my drinking began, and one day, again when I was about 5 years old, we were down at the holiday house, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and he put me on his knee and gave me a hug, and it was warm and everything was perfect about it. And he gave me a little glass of half beer, half lemonade, a shandy. And I associated the drink so strongly with the love that from that point on, every time I drank, it was always to find acceptance, to be comfortable, to find that feeling of warmth and love. But it never happened. Didn't matter how much I drank, I just couldn't find it. So the end result, of course, was that I just became a miserable drunk and just wanted to end my life. So that's all past, and now the process for me is continually going through my peace journal, tapping out any emotional pain or energy in those thoughts. And I also have the wonderful benefit of my happy journal, and that's been a wonderful thing too, because as I'm going back into my past and clearing memories, there's lots of stuff there that was really happy and uplifting. And now I can, if I do ever feel emotionally challenged or stressed, I go to the happy journal and the resources that I'm building up there, and I've found and through Robert's teaching that, you know, I can't hold a happy memory and a negative memory simultaneously, and so I'm learning all the time, and it's been fantastic.
Tell us how FasterEFT has changed your life, if you were to give a synopsis over it.
It's changed my relationships with people. I've had a relationship with a lady for the last 7 or 8 years, and when we came together, I promised her that, I only made one promise, that I would be emotionally stable, Well, it's been anything but. She pushes my buttons, I push her buttons. But since I've been doing the Faster EFT, I do a tapping in the car, and if she says something to me and it triggers something in me, I'll tap on it. And of course she would think that, that she said something wrong, or, but it's not like that at all. So the end result of it is that she's now tapping, and she realises it's about what's inside of her, it's about what's inside of me, and when I tap it's for me, not her. And so it's improved the relationship a lot, because something will trigger her off, and she would always say, "Oh, it's your fault, you criticise me, you're never happy, blah, blah, blah." But that's all changing. So that's just an example of one relationship. Then other people that I'm involved with, they see changes in me. And the way I talk to them is different. And I can't help now but to offer assistance in ways that they can improve their life and their view of themselves. What's happened just recently, I've gone from a homeless situation into public housing, so I've now got my own flat with warmth and a shower and all of the basics, and so that's now provided me with a place where I can further my studies in a relaxed, safe and warm situation, and that's my intention to do that. And what I've found with the Happy Journal, I've been programming in changes that I want to have for myself, and future pacing, seeing myself with the things. For instance, a car, a nice car. So what I did, I went and got a catalogue of the car. I went to the car yard and sat in it and smelt it and felt it, and now I have those resources, emotional resources that I can run over and over as a program, and it becomes a reality for me. So yeah, big changes.
So you actually manifested a home because of FasterEFT using the Happy Journal?
It would appear so, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I wanted to change, and I'd get catalogues from the real estate agent, and they'd show all these lovely homes and everything like that, and I would imagine myself standing in the shower of one of these homes, or lounging, or in the garden or whatever like that, and I would run that over and over until I didn't have to run it over anymore. That just became my vision, and then the world, things happen. I mean, things always happen, but in this instance, it happened. I was open to the change, and the change is always there, but I was open to it in a particular direction.
So you also got the training course?
Yes.
So how's that help?
Yes. I got the training course about 6 months ago. After I went through all the videos, I didn't have any money. My girlfriend had already lent me lots of money for different devices and treatments for my illness, and I really wanted to do it because I'd looked it up on the internet and saw what it was and everything. I thought, oh, that would be fantastic. So anyway, I told her about it, and she said, oh, well, you'll be able to save up for it and everything like that. And I really wanted to get on with it, you know. But that was cool. So I kept on looking at the site, and it came up at a discount, which it does every now and then. So I told her about it, and she said, I'll go for it, here's the money. And so I got the course and waited and waited and waited, and then the box arrived, which was very exciting. So I just went through all of the DVDs, 96 DVDs, and then started to get into the level 1 and 2, 3 videos. So now I'm completing the level 1 training and ready to do certification.
So how's it give you insight on it, or what do you learn from it?
Yeah, tremendous insight. Getting the theory of it has been really effective. That's brought its own changes because I'm intellectual, and I pursue all sorts of different things, sciences and medicine, a whole range of things. So this gives me a theoretical basis for the thinking modality behind it, but it's also given me, by seeing it operate with people in real situations where they're being tapped on, that, because I always tap along with every session, and as I'm doing that, I can always identify with whoever's being tapped on in the session. There's always something, and even if there isn't something I can immediately identify with it, I tap on whatever's being tapped on, and changes occur. Yeah.
So you've been working on other people as well then?
Yeah, that's been great.
Very good. So now you're a live seminar.
Yes.
So you watch the others. So what's the biggest difference you notice between the two, and what are you getting out of it?
It's very intense, very rich, and it's not like watching a screen where you're just being triggered from the screen. When you're dealing with real people in live situations, the energies are different, and so I'm listening to other people, to you, to Deidre, and that's just opening up so much more, and the sequence of events is much clearer. It's just a degree of clarity that's coming, and understanding. Yeah.
Enjoy it?
Oh yeah, very, very much.
What's your last words? What was the last thing you'd say if you just talked to someone out there on the internet, or someone like you? What would you tell them?
Well, what I've been doing, I catalogued the whole 650 videos, put them into folders, and I put them on a USB key, and I always keep a couple in my pocket. So if I talk to anyone, I just say, look, take this key, have a look at the videos, it might be right for you.
Thank you.
Very grateful. Thank you.